angle it, or are you okay? Yeah.
Donna-lee, what is this new exhibition you got here?
It is called Deeper Shades of House.
House music?
You know what? Influenced by house music, right? When I first moved downtown, doing my art, doing my creativity, that was the music or the vibe at that time. And it really, really moved me with my art. You know, since then, you know, I've gotten married. I have a beautiful little girl, Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine, if you're up still. Hi, honey. Basically, I realized I moved away from all that music. You know, you're living, you're raising a child, you're having a relationship with your husband, you're being a mom, you're being a wife. I forgot about all those good times and the flow with the music. So Jasmine's getting a little bit older now, and I've found some time to get back into the studio, and I've tapped back into that music, and it seemed to open up this world for me, and it brought me back to a few pieces that I hadn't finished, and opened me up to some new possibilities with the work. I've grown so much, just as an individual, as a woman, as a spirit, that it was time to come back on the scene. And I haven't been on the scene in downtown Toronto for about 10 years.
Damn. So was Carl Castell, the owner of Harlem, was he the one that pulled you out?
Let me tell you something. Carl and I met about 3 months ago.
For the first time?
No, not for the
okay.
first time.
Good.
I've known Carl since he first stepped foot to live in Canada. I was actually the one that took Carl around on the scene, into the underground scene, and he was very inspired and very creative as a young man, and he had an idea for a restaurant, an environment, an experience. So I gave him an opportunity to see what the creative life was like here in Toronto, and that really inspired him. And he took me out for lunch, and he thanked me for that. And I think that's so beautiful. And he said, you know what? I want you to open up my patio this summer with an art show. You know, he's a very giving individual, right? So I was so honored by that, and I was ready. Because I'd been in the studio, I'd been working, and it was time to come back out. This was for me. This was all about love for me. You know what I'm saying? And to come out and see my people again. I haven't seen you for so long. Clifton!
I'm here.
Right?
How do you describe the change from the other pieces from 10 years ago to the newer pieces that you got?
Well, I'll tell you something right now. I understand the language of the work. I've gone underground, spending a lot of that time at home. I've done a lot of research on who I am. I actually went to African ancestry. I think they're at Howard University, and I was able to get my genetics done, and I found out that I am of the original tribe of Fulani, which now reside in Nigeria, right? And I don't know if you know, but I'm adopted. I was adopted by
I do know that.
Yeah, by a Bayesian family. But the artist in me has always longed to understand deeper meaning behind the work. So I knew it was time to go and do some deep research. And I started doing the research and started studying my Kemetic history and ancestry. And the beautiful thing about that is learning and understanding the deep, rich culture and intelligence that comes from my melanated people. I had no idea. Growing up in Western society, that was not often a part of the curriculum, if you understand. So a lack of adequate knowledge sometimes can lead to these gaps in your life. So the difference is, in studying my ancient ancestry, I really understood a deep sense of spirituality, but from a cosmic perspective, from a connectedness to the world, right? Our ancestors really had an understanding of that. And I realized that my artwork has been communicating to me for a very, very long time. But had I not taken the time to stop and do the research, I would have never understood that.
Is that what you're meaning by the outpicturing of the inner sense, the transcendence?
Exactly. Would I call myself a transcendental artist? Absolutely, right? I am interested in the things above and beyond the everyday life that we live. It's more of a cosmic understanding, a metaphysical understanding, the understanding of the science of thyself, right? One of the biggest messages that our ancestors left on the walls of Kemet in Egypt, what they call today Egypt, is know thyself, right? So I really took that seriously.
So how is that reflected in the work? Is it through color, through choice of materials, choice of subject matter? How is all of that new knowledge then reflected in the work currently?
Yes, the way that it is reflected is through the immediate experience at that time. Now, the beauty of the work that resides in the restaurant tonight, the majority of those pieces, I had no idea what they were communicating to me. It's after my study that I actually had to go back again and now analyze my own work to understand the message. And that's why I say transcendental, because it was my higher self, right? Thus, the persona that I've taken on and my brand, which is called Juna Vegas, right? I've just given her that name as a higher self element, because there are times where I could create pieces and the next morning wake up and go, who did that? You understand? You have to travel for this work. Like even a musician travels as well to get that music. When you're working all together, there's a vibration, there's a sensation, there's a rhythm that has to come together in that unity, right? To create that. So it's the same with myself as an artist. It's almost like I transcend this place, right? And I'm outside of this place. And I see visions, which I see through my first eye, which is my third eye. And that education came from studying my ancient ancestors. Had I not taken a moment to stop, reflect, go back, right? Sankofa, which is taking that moment to go back and know yourself, right? That's a Swahili word, right? I realized that there were so many teachings in my ancestries that were feeding my work, and that's why I didn't understand the language of it, right? I didn't understand the language of the energy that runs through my own veins, you know? So for me, it's been a self-education, but also just a beautiful awakening to the unique gifts that I hold inside. I look at my Juna Vegas as my earthly persona. She's the language of my inner verse. My story, unique unto me. You know, it's kind of like she sets me free. It's she expresses the multidimensional side of me completely and totally. Right? So in order to really understand that, you have to study it.
So with the shadowy self, the Juna Vegas, as you call, you're able now to see from before, where you would wake up the next day and get the substance and the essence.
Yes.
Are you able now to see that substance and essence real time?
Yes, yes. It's almost like there's been a bond that has been created now between my earthly self and my higher self. It's almost like it's like a marriage has happened. And the information comes quicker because I have an understanding of it now. And I want to use the work to teach that lesson, right? There are, and you agree with me, but we are energy first before we are just flesh and blood. And I want to use the work to teach the lessons of how to understand and walk through this world with your energy and how to manifest things, because we are all the creator. And I realized that through my own work, but I had to study it first.
Shift, if you will, back to taking back the cosmic night, the memoir you're working on. What can we expect from that?
That is going to be a living testimony of the intelligence of my ancestors manifesting itself through me. It is a celebration, an absolute celebration of who I am from a Kemetic ancestry. And I, especially for the young people, I mean for all, but I remember being that young child and in art history class not having a sense of my own art, my own people's art. And I looked at it like, if we're living in a world where there's so many different cultures, in order to respect each other and respect each other's culture, you can't sort of lift mine out of the current culture and pretend it doesn't exist. So it is up to me. I feel that I have a job to do to make sure that I edify my ancestors and their wisdom. And I do that through my art. I realize that now. I know that now.
So it's a personal memoir and at the same time
Yes.
an explanation, a further explanation of your cosmic art.
Yes, and it's an understanding how one can identify it or see it in their own art or see it in their own self. You know, I really want to create that dialogue and that expression of being able to share that with others. They might see themselves in me as I see myself in them.
Talk to me, if you will, then about, it seems to me as if they've been, in the time I've known you, maybe 3 or 4 times where it seemed like there was going to be this massive explosion, phantasmagorical explosion of black art in this town. And for some reason it fizzled. Stella Fakesi, who had an gallery, she's in London. Other people have left, some have retired. David Kabuki has gone back to the continent after, of Africa after being in America, and others have gone underground. There's still people doing stuff, but what is the state as you've seen it currently, now that you're back out on the scene of the black art scene in this town?
I'm going to be quite honest with you. The state is just being. Number one, just saw Stella 2 weeks ago. She is working hard on a new series of pieces. They're going to blow your mind when she comes out. I think sometimes, Clifton, we have to step aside and take a minute to go inside. Okay? Take a minute to go inside. You've got to leave all of this matrix behavior behind, right? And get inside the real self, the real world. And I think that's all that people are doing. David Kabuka, just connected with him about 3 days ago on Facebook.
Damn.
Okay? He's coming to Toronto this summer and he's going to be teaching some batik classes. He was just emailing me to see what my time and availability was like, to see if I could actually attend.
So the circle is,
Sweetheart,
come back around.
the circle has never broken.
And I just picked those 2 names out of random.
And that's why I thought that was so sweet, so I could give you that information. So trust me, we are always connected in one way or another.
How has married life and parent life, how has that affected your work?
Oh, it's been amazing. Throughout my work, you'll see that I work with the circle. The circle, I realize, is something that's very close and dear to me. And I decided that, you know what, I better research that too. So when I look at it from a perspective of, again, science, sacred geometry, the circle, wholeness, oneness, completeness, finishing work, I realize there's lessons within my work that are teaching me all the time as well. So I can pass these lessons on to my child. The beautiful moments of a dialogue that I share with my husband, he feeds my creativity, I feed his. He is now a blossoming songwriter, and I love that. Yeah, Kirsten, we gotta talk about that. You'll love Sherby's music. You will love Sherby's music. Anyways, so our daughter is around all of that creativity. Again, we in our own unique vessels are the creators ourselves, right? My artwork, unique unto me, it sets me free, right? It's an expression of me. So I get to share that with him, he shares that with me, we share that with her, right? And it's one big happy family. My daughter's named a couple of my pieces. She's challenged me on some of my work. You know, the innocence of a child can take you to places. Oh, let me tell you something. So she's pushed Mama. Do you know what I'm saying? She's pushed me to really get there with my work and make sure I explain it correctly and articulately. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience.
And the fact that you're a woman, your paintings, your work, there are a lot of female figures, multiple female figures at times. The fact that you're a woman, of course, the fact that women are the progenesis of the whole of mankind, but your take then on why there's so many predominant female figures.
Let me tell you something. Right now, and it seems like throughout all of my work, I am raising the feminine energy on the planet. There is too much war. There is too much death. There is too much rape. There is too much mayhem going on in this place. and there's an imbalance of energy on the planet. Again, I take it from the science of myself, and I realize that again, that is my duty, that is my role. I am a strong, confident woman. I know exactly what I'm doing with my life, and I've been given a gift, a tool to teach, to educate, to nurture, to allow people to have just a different experience. I am a part of your life. You're a reflection. My first company name was Meditative Reflections. Do you remember that? When I had Meditative Reflections?
Liberty Village, baby.
Yeah, exactly. But I realized in that name, that's really what it was. We are a perfect reflection of each other in our creativity, right? So that helps me manifest my art also here.
Splashes of color are all over your work. Talk to me about color in your work.
Well, one of the pieces in there is called Merkaba, right? Which really talks about the science of life force energy. And I'll give you a quick example of that. You have a male, you have a female, they get married, they come together, you have sperm, you have a seed from a sperm and an egg from the woman, they come together, and some magical light works happen with electricity to create another human being, okay? That's what the color is all about. It's electricity. It is the vibrations and the sensations that go through me when I'm creating the work, right? Again, when I was a child, my father's a saxophone player, and I used to fall asleep on the stairs on a Sunday night when his 9-piece band was over practicing in the basement. Kind of a difficult environment to fall asleep for on a school night. So my mother just let me be. But in the midst of falling asleep, I would see colors and shapes based on a trumpet or a saxophone or the beat of a drum. There would be a different flare of color that would shoot off in my mind, and I've always remembered that. And I truly do believe it is that sensation or that experience that I've brought over and continued in my work to give it the vibrancy and the life that it holds.
Your favorite colors then, some of them? Or
Yes.
do you have such?
Yes, I absolutely do. Blue, blue, blue. Blue, blue,
Blue as the night, blue as the people.
Oh, blue as the night, blue as the people, blue as the oceans, with some green in there, which really relate now to the chakras, right? Green is another one, and green is your heart chakra. Blue is your throat chakra, which is all about communication. And what am I doing? I'm communicating all the time, right? We need to teach the children the science of these things. I didn't learn about that in school, right? But there's reasons why the child picks up the orange crayon or the blue crayon or the red crayon. Root chakra with the red crayon, right? Grounding us. Isn't the stop sign red? Exactly. We don't realize that these colors all around us in our circumference of awareness are playing with us psychologically. And if we could just have a little bit of an understanding of that, it might change the way we see and perceive and feel things.
Maybe my memory's not correct, but I do remember, I try recalling that I saw some Facebook photos where you had moved into sculpture.
Yes.
I haven't seen those for real, but like, how did that come about, and what did that do for you in terms of sparking you further?
Okay, so at university, first of all, I started off as a life drawing artist, which is portraits and nudes and figures. And when I went to university and I took a sculpture course for the first time, my sculpture professor said to me, "Donna-lee, you draw like a sculptor. I believe that you need to get three-dimensional with your work." The sculpture started when I was pregnant, 7 months pregnant with Jasmine in my tummy, and I couldn't paint the canvas properly anymore because of that big belly in my way.
Belly, baby, belly.
So I decided that I was going to choose a different medium. It's just a different medium. I don't care how it gets out. I just know I needed to express myself, okay? So I chose sculpture, and I've fallen in love with it. Absolutely fallen in love with it. And I always, the professor's statement is always resonating in my mind. So I've been playing with it greatly, and you wait till the sculpture exhibition comes out. It's going to be mixed with spoken word, and I'm going to be painting some of the sculptures live on the spot. It's going to be a really dynamic experience, and I'm looking forward to that next level in my life, in my creative life.
The business of the art you will have to deal with. I met at the opening of the exhibition here, I met donna-lee, who was out of town for 10 years. He said that he couldn't sell his work here, and he went to the States and the United Kingdom and he sold all the pieces he had. I mentioned David Kabuka, who had to go to the States, couldn't sell his work here. How are you going to do that? What is the strategy to deal with the economics and the business side of the art?
You know, the beautiful thing right now, living in this age of technology, is that we have several tools available to us right now. For this interview in particular, I'm using Periscope. Yo, everybody up on Periscope. How you doing? How you doing? Okay.
You're the two-gun kid, brother man. I'm telling you. Can I hire you?
So this is a way for me to get myself out there globally, and people can check me out at junavagas.com.
That's Junavagas?
Yes, junavagus.com. You know, hail me up, send me an email, let's get it together. I plan on doing this differently, Clifton. I'm not conforming to any sort of the gallery, the old school gallery. I want this to be about an experience, and I want to work with other artists, and I want to collaborate, just like musicians do. Why shouldn't I be able to do that as a visual artist? I'm going to bring it different, and all I can say to you, Clifton, is, sweetheart, you're going to have to wait and have the experience. I just can't let
the
it
The real
all.
jerk doesn't like to wait, man. I mean, the Eglinton jerk doesn't like to wait.
This will be worth the wait, baby. Make no mistake. I'm going to make the experience real, okay? It's going to be real for real. So, yeah, you guys got to check it out, too, because let me tell you something. All this social media technology, I can't wait to turn it up. So that's what it's going to be about.
Give us a general description of the work you have on exhibition here at Harlem Underground, and how long will it be here?
It will be here. You know what? This is the beauty of it. Carl is like Donna-lee. People are loving the work. You can keep it up for as long as you want it up. But it'll probably be up to the middle of August 2015. And basically, this work is actually a retrospective. And inclusive of some newer pieces as well. I wanted to bring a couple of the pieces in that I had done many, many moons ago to also speak about those moments of creativity and not knowing where the creativity was coming from or the message itself. If you want, maybe we can take a walk into just the back room where there's three pieces, and you can see it there. But so it's about that dialogue. A lot of the pieces that are in the restaurant today are going to be a part of the book, Taking Back the Cosmic Night, right? So I will be able to explain the journey on the path to creating those pieces, and then the meditative reflection that I had to take in sitting in my studio and understanding the language of those pieces, okay? And how it has raised me. That's what I realized. My artwork has raised me into the woman that I am today. And I love that. I love that. There's a lot to learn. Everything that we ever need is already inside of us. It's already in there. You've just got to ask the right questions, and it will come to you. So, Taking Back the Cosmic Night, when you wrap it up and tie it in a pretty bow, it's about destiny. It's about truly seeking and finding your path to destiny. What you were meant to do. What you were called to do on this planet. And I found that in my art. And I'm celebrating that. And I'm sharing that. Because as a youth, I didn't get enough of that. So that's my gift to the world.
On the opening night of the exhibition here at Harlem Underground, you performed some spoken word. Now, pregnancy, you say, sparked sculpture back to sculpting you. What is it that sparked the spoken word inside of you?
Sometimes, Clifton, as an artist, you can't get to a piece of canvas fast enough and open up a jar of paint. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to find a way to express yourself. And you're a part of that inspiration as well, my friend.
Cool
Over
beans.
all the years of listening to your work, and Haji, okay? I've always been moved by it. And I know that when I'm painting, there's always some vocabulary that comes to me. And I thought, well, why not couple the two of them? Why not do something different? So that's how that was really birthed. And also because of Juna Vegas, my shadow side. It's almost like creating a mascot of her or an avatar of her. I thought, well, what would she be like if I were to manifest her here like I do? So it's like peeling her off the canvas. You'll see some pieces in there where they're silhouette black pieces, and that's really who Juna Vegas is. So I wore a full black morph suit, totally from head to toe, a beautiful afro wig, to sort of assimilate that beautiful figure, that silhouette that you see in my paintings called Juna Vegas. And with that came an outpour of language, again from my favorite color, blue, the throat chakra, speaking to me again. And now I'm in love with that. But also at school, and Kirsten can attest to this again, right? Beautiful actress, painter, you know what I mean? Photographer. A little bit of it all. This is another beautiful inspiration to me, another reflection of myself. I just love this. It makes so much sense right now. But I also have a theatrical side of myself. I was a visual arts major and a theater minor. Okay, I didn't do as much as the theater, so this is my time now to revisit that stage and couple it and partner it with my other love of the arts, which is visual.
You must feel like you're just bursting with creativity now.
Let me tell you something. Did you hear that? Enough said. No, absolutely. I feel good.
And hold that there. Hold that there.